Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kevin Zetina, and today I'd like to talk to you about the fundamentals of Marine Corps marksmanship and how they apply to shooting. The purpose of my speech is to inform you on the fundamentals of Marine Corps marksmanship and how they apply to shooting. Upon completion of my speech, you will know these fundamentals and know how to apply them whenever you fire a weapon. There are three fundamentals of Marine Corps marksmanship. There is sight alignment, sight picture, and trigger control. The first one I'd like to talk about is sight alignment. Sight alignment is the placement of the front sight tip in the rear sight aperture, both vertically and horizontally in the rear sight aperture. It is the relationship between the front sight post, the rear sight aperture, and the aiming eye. Any error in sight alignment will result in a misplaced shot. The greater the distance you are from your target, the bigger the error will be causing a misplaced shot if you have incorrect sight alignment. Therefore, sight alignment is very, very important. Now that we've talked about sight alignment, I would like to talk about sight picture. Sight picture is the placement of the front sight tip in relation to the target while maintaining sight alignment. The placement of that front sight tip must be placed center mass on the target or whatever it is that you're trying to shoot while maintaining that sight alignment. Now that we've talked about sight alignment and we've talked about sight picture, I would like to move on and talk about the last fundamental, which is trigger control. Trigger control is the skillful manipulation of the trigger that causes the rifle to fire without disturbing your sight alignment or your sight picture. There are two types of trigger control. There's interrupted trigger control and there's uninterrupted trigger control. The first one I'd like to talk about is uninterrupted trigger control. Uninterrupted trigger control is the ability to squeeze the trigger slowly to the rear until the round is fired without disturbing your sight alignment or your sight picture. Interrupted trigger control is utilized when you're squeezing the trigger and just before that round goes off, you realize that there is an error, whether it's in the sight alignment or the sight picture. Therefore, you would have to pause in your squeezing motion until you can fix your sight alignment or sight picture or whatever the error might have been and continue to squeeze of that trigger until the round goes off. That is trigger control. Today, we discussed the fundamentals of Marine Corps marksmanship. We talked about sight alignment. We talked about sight picture. And finally, we talked about trigger control and the types of trigger control. After today, you should be able to apply these fundamentals, or as applying these fundamentals correctly, you should have no problems whatsoever having effects on target or hitting whatever target it is that you're trying to hit.